Hi guys and welcome. Today I'm going to make something a little bit more special than I normally would make because I am using Filo pastry. It is going to be a galette, or if you want to call it a Filo pastry pie. Okay, now I have some leftover roasted vegetables that we made for dinner Monday. If you're not sure how to roast vegetables, I do have a video when I made a Sunday dinner and I had roasted vegetables with that. So if you want to scoot back and figure out how to make these. Otherwise, if you have like a butternut squash there, you can peel that, de-seed it, chop it up, whack it into your oven, sprinkle with a little bit of olive oil, about 180 for about 20 minutes. You can even actually buy a packet of frozen butternut squash cubed. Whack that into the oven and just roast it for about 20 minutes. The only thing is, I do find the frozen butternut squash is a lot watery, or how do you say that? Higher water content than the ones that you would make at home. So, you know, you need to be careful if you're using pastry with that. Okay, cracking on. I just bought my Filo pastry in the shop. Some pastries are worth making. This definitely is not worth making. And I have my tin here that I'm just going to butter. I melted some butter and I'm using this little brush. If you don't have a brush, you can just run, you can just use your hands or use the end of the sheet of butter to run the butter, melted butter around. Because the one thing about Filo pastry is for it to really crisp up, you need lots of butter. Okay, so I'm going to now butter the top sheet of the, oh, sorry about that. That was my speaker there that just went off itself. All sorts of strange noises in this house. So just brush this liberally with your melted butter. I'm spilling it everywhere, but that's okay. So I have a good bit of butter on there, guys. And then you want to take 2 sheets at a time and just get in there and be gentle because it can break. And I'm going to pop back my tin and just kind of lay it in nice and gently like that. Push it down into each of the corners. See the way I'm just gently pushing it in with my hand, okay? And then we get our next 2 and we repeat. Butter that again. Lots of butter, and we are going to crisscross over the pastry so that we then just every little section here is covered with a piece of pastry. I may need to melt more butter actually. I may have underestimated how much I would have needed. Okay, so we're going to grab another 2 sheets like that, pull it back, and just kind of go in like that. Always trying to get the middle of the sheet in the middle of the pan because we are going to eventually cover each section. You know, so the last, I think I have 2 more sheets left, have I? No, I have 3. Well, maybe we'll do these 3 at a time, and I'm just going to do the same thing with the last one. You get the picture. I may have to get some more. No, I think I'll be okay. I hope you're all doing okay out there. Sorry I haven't done a video in a couple of days. It was my birthday yesterday, so I just took a wee day off of doing what I normally do and had other people cook for me. Yeah, there's 3 sheets here, so I'm just going to whack these 3 sheets into my final place. And again, remembering that we're trying to have a little piece of pastry over each section and just put it in like that, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is pop my roasted vegetables in here like this. I'm sure all of us, or most of us actually, will have had the experience of a lockdown birthday at this stage, because we've had so much lockdown, and it's different, isn't it? You know, it's a different kind of birthday. It's not what we're used to, and it just takes a little bit of I don't know, for me, birthdays are a big deal. Excuse me, I'm just going to wash my hands. And I kind of had to give myself a little bit of a talking to remind myself that just be grateful for what I could do, you know? Be grateful that I could go for a walk, and I have my health, and had all my family, well, most of my family around me, and friends were very kind, and lots of messages. So it's, yeah, I had to kind of give myself a little talking to. So anyway, next step is some feta, and I just had a couple of different bags of feta that were half used in the fridge. So I kept them in a Ziploc bag just to try and keep them as fresh as I could. If you don't put them in a Ziploc bag, they end up kind of weeping out all over your fridge. And if you're like me, the torture of cleaning your fridge is not something that you want to repeat on a regular basis. So Ziploc bags to the rescue. And I'm just mixing these two fetas. One I usually use for salads, which is the Polish one, which is a much creamier texture, this one here. And the other one I use is just a cheaper little version, which has actually greater flavor for cooking. Does that make sense? It's a creamy texture for salads, and then the greater flavor of the stronger, cheaper little one for cooking. Okay, I need to wash my hands again, sorry about this. So the last thing I'm going to add, which is completely optional if you don't like olives, you don't need to go there with this one. And I'm going to add some pitted black olives all along the top here. I just think they add a lovely colour to this. It makes it look very kind of Mediterranean. There we go. How does that look, guys? So I'm going to just pinch the top of this together. You just kind of bring it up and tuck it down like that. Does that make sense? Just to fold it in. Don't crumple it down completely, because we still want to have the texture of the different bits of Filo pastry kind of sticking out randomly. See, like that? And I'm going to pop that into my oven at 180 for about 20 minutes. It doesn't take that long to cook. I don't want to use my new apron because I'll get it all oily. I got 4 aprons for my birthday, guys. What are people trying to tell me? Okay, so I'm going to pop this in. I'm actually going to pop it into my lower oven today, because we haven't done much cooking here today. And when you don't do much cooking on the Aga, the oven temperatures rise. So I'll come back in about 20 minutes. I may just check it after 10 minutes and turn it around. You want it so that your pastry is a golden brown colour, not brown black. So just keep an eye on it, okay? Is it on? Is it? Here we go, guys. How does that look? I think it looks pretty amazing there. So as you can see, it was starting to slightly burn, so I turned it around and I put a plain sheet of a cold tray on top of it. Does that make sense? A cold baking sheet on top of it, and that reduces the amount of heat that around the top of whatever you're baking. Or otherwise you could have covered it with tin foil. It does the same thing. I also forgot to tell you to add a little bit of thyme out of the garden. Sprinkle the top of it with a little bit of thyme. It'll still add a nice flavour, even if it hasn't been cooked in it. It doesn't matter. It would have been nicer if it was in there whilst it was cooking. But as I say with all these videos, there is no such thing as a massive Well, there is such a thing as a massive mistake, but most mistakes like this, most omissions, are not a big deal. You know, it's not that big a deal that I forgot to put any herbs in here at all. It would still taste nice, but I can also add them at the end, just like this. Now, my dishwasher is going to beep now in a minute. We've had lots of noises here today from filming. So guys, you could allow this to cool slightly and then open up the sides here. I'm just scared to do it now in case I'm too soon, but let's give it a go for the sake of filming. Let's see what happens. I'm using a spring form tin here so that you can actually release the lid like that. And then look at that! Is that not a magical looking beast? What do you think, Liam? Liam's excited.
I sure am.
It looks amazing, doesn't it? Guys, the smell is fabulous as well. A really buttery, beautiful smell. I hope you get a chance to try something like this at home. It's so easy, really, really easy. If you are doing the baking of the butternut squash yourself, you could drizzle it with a little bit of honey before you pop it in here as well. It'll just add a little bit of sweetness to it. I'm going to try and see if I can actually add a link to this video that you can just click on the roast dinner video to see how to make the roast vegetables. I will be really upping my techie game if I can manage that feat. So you can give me a big round of applause if you see a link on the screen now. Anyway guys, God bless everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon.